Have you ever been, really deep into an article or maybe totally lost in a new book
Yeah.
listening to a conversation and then bam, you just hit a word you don't know?
Oh, yeah. That little snag. Happens all the time.
It does. So what's your go-to? Do you quickly pull out your phone, type it in, get a quick definition, move on?
Sometimes, yeah. Or maybe you're more old school, got a paper dictionary handy.
Right. However you handle it though, that moment encountering an unfamiliar word, it's
Oh.
something everyone faces, especially when you're learning a language like English.
And how you tackle that moment, and maybe more importantly, what you actually do with the info you find, well, that can really transform your whole language learning journey. It's huge.
Absolutely. It's the difference between just, recognizing a word for a second and actually mastering it.
Right. True linguistic mastery.
Because today, on the deep dive, we're not just talking about the basic act of, looking up a word.
Nope.
We're kind of on a mission here. We want to completely transform how you interact with what are arguably the most fundamental tools for language learning. Dictionaries, thesaurus, and maybe that broader concept, lexicons.
Yeah, lexicon, maybe a less familiar term for some, but really important.
Exactly. And our goal is to move you beyond simply looking up to really learning and, crucially, applying that knowledge, helping you master the art and science of using and maybe even building these linguistic powerhouses.
Yeah, building them. That's a key part to really accelerate your English skills and refine your style.
So our mission today is really to unpack all the rich, sometimes hidden information that's available in these tools.
It's incredible what's actually in there when you look closely.
We'll look at how they've evolved, from those traditional printed pages, which I still kind of love,
Me too. There's something about them.
to the amazing digital versions we have now. We'll look at different types for different needs, different levels.
And most importantly, yeah, we're going to equip you with some concrete, actionable strategies for using them really effectively, turning you into a bit of a linguistic detective, maybe.
I like that. A linguistic detective. And to do this, we've pulled insights from a really wide range of sources. We're looking at academic research, places like Mohammed Boudiaf University, detailed guides on using foreign language dictionaries, and even analyses of how learners actually use these things in the real world.
So it's grounded in both theory and practice.
Exactly. So get ready to rethink your whole relationship with the dictionary. It's way more than just a dusty book or a quick search result.
Definitely more.
Okay, so let's dive into this fundamental question. Why are dictionaries just so critically important in language learning? We often think of them as, just a place to find what a word means.
Right, the basic definition. But the sources we looked at, they consistently call them essential tools. They provide vital information in all aspects of language. That's way beyond just a simple meaning.
All aspects, like
Wow.
what specifically?
Well, it's really holistic. When you dig into a good dictionary entry, you're not just getting the semantics, the core meaning. You're also getting insights into its phonology,
How it sounds.
exactly how the word sounds. Often you get audio recordings now, or phonetic symbols which guide your pronunciation. Really useful. Then there's morphology.
Okay, morphology, break that down.
That's the word's structure, how it's built, understanding prefixes, suffixes, roots. It helps you see how words are related.
Okay, so like seeing means not unbelievable.
Precisely. And then you see believe is the root, and able makes it an adjective meaning capable of being.
Right. So understanding that structure helps you unlock tons of other words like undoable, readable, unbreakable.
Exactly. It's like reverse engineering the language. You're not just learning one word, you're learning the patterns, the building blocks.
That's powerful. Okay, what else?
Well, syntax too. That's about how the word fits into sentences grammatically. Does it take an object? What prepositions go with it? Things like that.
So it helps you actually use the word correctly, not just know what it means.
Yes. And often you'll find the etymology too, the words origin and history. Knowing dictionary comes from the Latin dictio for saying or word. It adds a layer of understanding, doesn't it?
It does. It connects things. So it's like a rich profile of the word.
Absolutely. One source called it a great richness of information. It's like a detailed linguistic DNA profile for each word.
And for learners, particularly EFL learners, English as a foreign language learners,
Yeah.
having a limited vocabulary, that's a huge barrier, isn't it?
Oh, massive. It can genuinely stop students from acquiring the language fluently. It makes every conversation, every text feel like a real struggle.
Yeah, like climbing a mountain.
Exactly. And dictionaries, in that context, they become these reliable sources to deal with unfamiliar words. They offer quick and direct access to the definition, which is incredibly empowering.
That quick access is key.
Think about hitting a word you don't know in, say, a work email or even a job interview. Having a quick, reliable way to figure it out is invaluable. They really are like trusted companions for learners. They reduce that friction, that difficulty.
And it goes deeper than just that moment, right? It affects how you learn overall.
Definitely. This reliability profoundly empowers self-learning. When your teacher isn't right there or you're studying alone, a dictionary lets you find reliable info independently.
Promoting autonomy.
Exactly. Autonomy, self-reliance.
Yeah.
Arguably the most crucial part of becoming a successful lifelong language learner. It shifts the focus from the teacher to you, the learner.
And this isn't just theory, is it? Studies actually show this.
Yes, the impact is measurable. Studies confirm dictionaries help improve learners' proficiency, especially in crucial skills like reading and writing. They also promote language comprehension, making complex stuff more accessible.
So it boosts confidence too, I imagine.
Big time. It's not just about knowing the word itself, it's understanding how it works in the system, letting you engage more fully.
Okay, so what do learners themselves think about all this? We've got that fascinating case study you mentioned from Mohammed Boudiaf University in Massila, Algeria.
Right, yeah. A survey of second-year EFL students. It gave some really insightful perspectives on how actual students view and use these tools, not just theory.
So what did they find? Were the students positive about dictionaries?
Overwhelmingly positive, actually, which is a great starting point, right? A big majority, over 55%, considered them important to a high extent, and almost 40% more said some extent.
Wow, so nearly everyone saw their value.
Pretty much. There's this widespread recognition among learners that these tools are genuinely useful.
And did that positive feeling translate into, tangible benefits they perceived, like vocabulary?
Absolutely. Most students, around 60%, agreed, and another third strongly agreed that dictionaries are great for enhancing vocabulary.
Okay, that makes sense. What about motivation?
This was interesting. A large number, nearly 70%, believe there's a positive link between using dictionaries and their motivation or even class participation.
Really? How so?
Well, the idea is that dictionaries provide a suitable atmosphere for participation without fear of mistakes. If you can quickly check something, you're maybe less afraid to speak up.
Ah, that's huge. Reducing that fear of error, that's massive in a classroom.
It really is. When learners feel they can find answers themselves, it lowers anxiety and encourages them to take more risks, be more proactive.
Makes sense. And did they feel dictionaries actually improve their overall skills?
Yeah, strong consensus there too. Over 66% agreed, plus another 17% strongly agreed, that dictionaries improve proficiency, especially in writing and reading. It backs up what we were saying about holistic information. They help you do things with the language.
It wasn't just about the serious academic side either, was it?
No, which was quite revealing. While about 40% saw them mainly as an educational strategy, nearly 30% actually found them entertaining.
Entertaining, like just browsing.
Could be. And another quarter saw them as both educational and entertaining. So they're not just dry tools. They can be genuinely engaging, which is great for different learning styles.
And did they find them helpful for understanding lessons in class?
Yes, over half, 58%, found they somehow simplified lesson content, and another 35% agreed they could facilitate understanding. So they definitely play a role in making complex stuff easier to grasp.
So the picture from Massila is pretty clear. Students really value dictionaries for lots of different reasons.
No. Multifaceted value. Vocabulary, confidence, skills, comprehension. It's all there.
Now, something that's really striking, especially if you think back maybe a decade or two,
Oh, yeah.
is how much the world of dictionaries has changed. That shift from the traditional heavy paper dictionary.
Yeah, door stoppers.
Exactly. To this huge variety of electronic dictionaries we have now. And each type obviously has its pros and cons. Knowing them helps you choose the right tool, doesn't it?
It's crucial. And that choice really impacts your efficiency and how you learn. Let's look at printed dictionaries first.
Okay, the traditional ones.
Right. Advantages. Well, they're simple to browse, often pretty inexpensive. The concise versions are portable enough.
True, you can throw one in your bag.
They're durable, no battery anxiety. And you can physically write notes on the pages, which some people find really helps things stick. Plus, there's an argument they foster concentration and logical thinking.
How so?
The act of manually finding the word, flipping through pages, navigating the alphabet. It's described as more of an intellectual labor, not just passively receiving an answer. Some argue it develops mental skills.
I can see that, like flexing a mental muscle. Still recommended for students then.
Yeah, particularly for secondary school students, they're often still recommended for developing that mental ability and independent thinking.
I definitely remember that feeling, flipping pages, the weight of the book. It is a different kind of engagement, but there are downsides, big ones.
Oh, absolutely. The main
Yeah.
one. They just cannot keep up with the dynamic changes in the language.
All the new words.
Exactly. Neologisms, tech terms, slang. English changes so fast, a paper dictionary gets outdated pretty quickly.
Yeah, you won't find doom scrolling in a dictionary from 1995.
Probably not. And that's where electronic dictionaries, EDs, really come into their own.
And there are so many types now.
A huge variety. You've got dedicated portable devices, PEDs, though maybe less common now.
Right, then mobile apps on our phones and tablets, which are everywhere.
Ubiquitous. Older CD-ROMs, DVD-ROMs, maybe less relevant now too. And then the really big ones. Online dictionaries accessible through web browsers.
Like Cambridge, Oxford Learners, Longman, those are my go-tos.
Mine too. The variety is huge, and they all offer slightly different features and interfaces.
The advantages seem pretty compelling, especially today. Speed, right? That's massive.
Huge. They significantly save learners time. One study found looking up 10 words took about 16 seconds electronically versus almost 3 minutes, 168 seconds on paper.
Wow, 16 versus 168 seconds. That's a night and day difference in efficiency. It keeps you in the flow.
Totally. And convenience, portability,
Yeah.
they're mobile, always at hand because they're usually on your phone or tablet anyway. Easy to carry out and use pretty much anywhere.
That constant accessibility is a game changer. No friction.
Right. And they offer much more than just definitions usually. Filtered searches, maybe you only want examples or grammar info. They often give you comprehensive lists of synonyms, coordinate terms, hypernyms, and hyponyms.
Okay, hypernyms. Remind me.
Sure. If you look up dog, hyponym, its hypernym is animal. If you look up vehicle, hyponym, its hyponyms might be car, bus, bike. Seeing those relationships can massively expand your vocabulary web.
Ah, okay. So it shows how words connect.
Exactly. Many also have conjugation tables for verbs, super helpful for English tenses and pronunciation, often with audio clips. For languages with complex scripts, like Chinese, they can be invaluable for searching.
And all these features can boost motivation.
Yeah, they can enhance language learners' motivation just by making the whole process less of a chore and more interactive, more rewarding.
There's always a but, isn't there? Downsides to EDs.
There are. One potential issue is they can hinder pupils from guessing the meaning based on context. The answer is so easy to get, you might skip that crucial thinking step.
Yeah, I can see that. Too easy sometimes.
They can also induce distraction. You look up one word, then click a link, then another. Suddenly you're reading about something totally different.
Guilty as charged. Definitely fallen down that rabbit hole many times.
It's easy to do. And some educators worry about mechanical typing versus the deeper mental engagement of print dictionaries. Plus, while many are free, some online ones need subscriptions for full features. Not always complimentary, as one source put it.
So looking back at that Messilah survey, what was the preference there? Print or electronic?
Pretty clear preference. 76.74% preferred electronic. Only 23.25% preferred printed.
Wow, that's decisive. And why?
Mostly ease of use, practicality, and that comprehensive nature showing synonyms, antonyms, etc. It just aligns with the advantages we discussed.
It's a pragmatic choice for most learners today.
Okay, so we've got print versus electronic. But there's another really big choice point, isn't there? Once you have a dictionary, how do you use it? Direct translation or full immersion?
The monolingual versus bilingual debate. This is a classic.
It really is. And the best choice often depends on where you are in your learning journey, your proficiency level, and what you're trying to achieve.
Let's start with bilingual dictionaries, BDs. The translation ones, like English to Spanish or English to Arabic.
Right. They give you direct translations. They let you quickly locate the meanings or translations in your first language. This offers, as one source says, the security of a specific response.
Yeah, for beginners, that quick answer can feel really reassuring, reduces that initial panic like a safety net.
It can be, but
Yeah.
there are significant limitations. They can keep you stuck in your comfort zone, relying too heavily on translation instead of pushing yourself to think in English.
Hinders immersion.
Exactly. And definitions might be given out of context. A single English word might have 5 meanings, but the BD might only give you one translation, which might be the wrong one for your situation.
That's a classic problem. Leads to mistakes.
It does.
Mm.
And they often fall short with complex grammar patterns or fixed expressions, idioms, that just don't translate word for word.
This is that nuance challenge, right? Like that Japanese word oa, meaning blue or green, depending on context. A simple BD entry would struggle there.
Precisely. Or those untranslatable words like the French dépaysement, that feeling of being out of place when away from home.
Hmm.
How do you capture that in one target word? Often you can't.
Even simple grammar words like prepositions.
Nightmare fuel for BDs sometimes. French "a" can be in to "ou," "ought," from depends entirely on context. And fixed expressions, idioms. English uses push for lots of things. French might use different verbs for push a button, push a cart.
So BDs can't really capture that full usage, the connotations, the specific contexts?
They struggle with it. They offer a quick bridge, but sometimes that bridge is too narrow or it leads to the wrong place.
Okay, so that brings us to monolingual dictionaries, MLDs, English to English, for example.
Right, like Oxford English Dictionary, Merriam-Webster, Longman Dictionary of Contemporary English. These explain words using English.
And the big advantage here is
They're generally much more beneficial, especially for more proficient users, because they really force students to think in the target language.
immersion.
Total immersion. They help you break their translation habits.
Mm.
When you read a definition in English, you're reinforcing your English understanding constantly. They're also much better for picking the right definition when a word has multiple meanings, because they explain the nuances.
And they usually provide more detail overall.
Much more detailed, more precise information, including usage notes, examples, collocations.
But the downside is pretty obvious.
Yeah, the language barrier itself. They can be difficult to interpret for beginners or less skilled learners because the definitions might use words you also don't know.
The dictionary definition needs its own dictionary.
Exactly, that catch-22. They might contain many definitions that are difficult to understand and symbols that can be confusing initially.
So what did the Mixila students think about this? Monolingual versus bilingual.
Really interesting findings there, too. Usage was almost equal, 51% monolingual, 49% bilingual. So they were using both.
Okay. But which did they think was more useful?
A clear majority, over 68%, believed monolingual dictionaries are ultimately more useful for EFL learners.
So even if they used both, they recognized the deeper long-term benefit of the monolingual ones for getting really proficient.
Exactly. It shows a sophisticated awareness among learners about what helps them improve most in the long run.
So for listeners who want to make that leap, maybe start using MLDs more? Any tips for easing that transition? It can feel daunting.
Definitely. First, choose learner-adapted versions. Look for MLDs specifically designed for learners. Publishers like Oxford, Cambridge, Longman make these. They use simpler, controlled vocabulary in the definitions. Much more accessible.
Okay, so start with learner dictionaries. Good tip. What else?
Start simple. Use the MLD for words you kind of already know the basic meaning of, but maybe struggle to recall or use accurately. Seeing them explained in English builds confidence.
Right, reinforcing what you already partly know.
You can also combine them initially. Use your bilingual dictionary for a quick first idea, then jump to the MLD to really understand the nuance and pick the right meaning for your context. Use them together.
A two-step process.
Yeah. And finally, really leverage example sentences. If the MLD definition is tricky, look at the examples. Seeing the word used in a sentence you can understand helps unlock the definition. Bilingual examples can act like training wheels initially.
So it's a gradual process, building confidence, using the right tools at the right time.
Exactly. Makes the transition much less scary and much more effective.
Okay, so we've covered the basics. Print versus electronic, monolingual versus bilingual. But you mentioned earlier, to really master English, to build your own command, we need to go beyond the general stuff.
Right. This is where specialized tools come in, and where I think the real magic of active lexicon building starts.
Okay, sounds intriguing. And top of that list is probably the Thesaurus, right? Most people have heard of it.
Definitely. But maybe haven't used it to its full potential. A thesaurus doesn't give detailed definitions like a dictionary. Instead, it lists vocabulary related to a target keyword.
Synonyms, mostly. Words with similar meanings.
Synonyms, yes, but often antonyms too, words with opposite meanings, and sometimes homonyms, sound-alikes with different meanings. They're really indispensable for languages like English with such rich, nuanced vocabulary.
Helps you avoid repeating the same word over and over. Adds precision.
Exactly. Like painting with a richer palette of words. Adds color and variety to your writing and speaking.
But there's a big warning label with thesauri, isn't there?
Huge EE warning label. This is non-negotiable. Always look up the definition of a word you pick from a thesaurus before you use it.
Why is that so crucial?
Because synonyms are often only similar in certain contexts. Or might be archaic, too formal, too informal, or just plain wrong for what you mean. Think big versus gargantuan. Synonyms, yes, but you wouldn't call a small problem gargantuan, would you?
No, that would sound ridiculous.
Right. Context is everything. And this is where online thesaurus are great, because you can usually just click the synonym and instantly see its definition and examples. Saves time and potential embarrassment.
Good point. Okay, beyond thesauri, what other specialized tools?
Grammar dictionaries. Often overlooked, but incredibly powerful.
What do they do exactly?
They focus specifically on grammar patterns. They help you grasp the nuance between similar grammar patterns, understand tricky exceptions to rules, find more formal or casual ways to say something.
So like the difference between used to do and be used to doing, that kind of thing.
Exactly that kind of thing. Or subtle differences between prepositions or verb tenses. They're especially useful for languages where grammar carries a lot of subtle meaning, which English certainly does sometimes.
Any tips for using grammar dictionaries effectively?
Yes, treat them like a book, not just a reference.
Right.
Don't only look things up when you're stuck, although do that too, but also browse through chapters, read random sections.
Why? What's the benefit of browsing?
It helps you internalize the patterns, the underlying logic, the rhythm of the language's grammar. It helps you start to think like a native speaker grammatically, rather than just applying isolated rules. Builds intuition.
Interesting approach. Okay, what else is in the specialized toolkit?
Corpus dictionaries. These are fascinating and super practical.
Corpus, like a body of texts.
Exactly. They let you search for words or phrases within massive collections, corpora, of real-world texts, often professionally translated texts, if it's a bilingual corpus.
So you see how words are actually used by native speakers.
Precisely. In authentic contexts. It's amazing for finding equivalents for sayings, idioms, set expressions, and understanding how words behave in specific situations or genres. It gets you beyond textbook examples to real usage.
That sounds incredibly useful for advanced learners wanting authentic language. Any caveats?
Yes, two main ones. Always check the source of the texts or translations in the corpus. Are they reliable? Verified. And secondly, look through at least a handful of examples or translations. See how different writers or translators tackled the same phrase. It gives you a richer understanding of the possibilities and common patterns.
Good advice. Okay, this all seems to be leading towards a bigger idea you mentioned, the lexicon.
Yes, the concept of a lexicon and building your own. Broadly, a lexicon is just all the words and phrases in a language, or a specific subset like medical jargon or words related to your hobby. As learners, we all develop a mental lexicon, our internal word store.
And dictionaries are printed lexicons that help us expand our mental one.
Exactly. Now, a great tool related to this is the thematic dictionary.
Thematic, meaning organized by theme.
Right. They group words and phrases by topic, relationships, work, travel, food, technology, whatever. This approach really increases cognitive activity and develops mental abilities because it builds strong connections between related words in your brain.
Learning words in meaningful clusters, not just random lists.
It's much more organic, more logical. It mirrors how our brains naturally categorize information. It turns vocabulary learning into building a network, not just memorizing a list.
And you mentioned learners compiling their own.
Yes, this is where it gets really powerful. The method of students compiling their own thematic dictionaries, maybe individually, maybe in groups, is highlighted as a highly effective strategy.
So how would that work? Let's say I want to create a lexicon for cooking.
Okay, great example. You'd start by deciding the structure, maybe sections for verbs, chop, stir, bake, nouns, equipment, pan, oven, whisk, nouns, ingredients, flour, eggs, spices, adjectives, delicious, burnt, savory.
Right, setting up categories.
Then you select the words. Maybe start with high-frequency cooking terms. You could add basic grammar info for each baked, transitive, or intransitive. Is flour countable or uncountable?
Ah, reinforcing grammar at the same time.
Exactly. You'd probably start with concrete things, pan, spoon, then move to more abstract ideas or processes, saute, simmer. Later, you could add collocations, whisk eggs, knead dough, and even idioms, piece of cake. Spill the beans if relevant.
So you're actively curating your own personalized learning tool.
You are, and the benefits are huge. It increases interest because it's your project. It leads to effective mastering of lexis because you're deeply engaging with the words. It reinforces grammar. It helps you think about how words fit together. And crucially, it really boosts memorization because you've put in the effort to create it yourself.
Making the words truly yours, moving from just recognizing them to being able to use them.
That's the goal. active production. And for teachers, the idea is maybe to show students examples from well-structured printed dictionaries first as a model before they start building their own, even if they use digital tools to compile it.
Bridging the gap between structured resources and that active, personalized learning, this feels like a really empowering approach.
It really is. It's how you start to genuinely build your command of the language.
Okay, so we know about the different types of dictionaries, the amazing info they hold, even specialized ones, and building our own lexicons. Now let's get really practical. How do we become a pro user?
Right. It's not just what's in there, but how you use it strategically.
So, strategy number 1.
Have a clear purpose for your lookup. Don't just browse aimlessly, unless, you're doing that entertaining thing we mentioned.
Right.
But usually, know why you're looking. Is it to understand a word you just read, confirm spelling for an email, check grammar, verify if za is a legal Scrabble word?
Okay, purpose-driven lookups. Makes sense. Saves time.
And makes it stick better. Next, and this is huge for efficiency and learning, try to understand from context first.
Resist that instant urge to look it up.
Exactly. When you hit an unknown word, keep reading. Finish the sentence, maybe even the paragraph. Try to guess the meaning from the clues around it. If listening, keep listening.
Train that inference muscle.
Yes. Only if the word still seems important and you're still unclear after trying context, then go to the dictionary. It's a crucial skill for fluency.
Okay, context first. Then what?
Understand the dictionary's structure, learn its layout, how data is processed and presented, know the abbreviations N for noun, V for verb, adjacent for adjective. Understand the symbols, like the tilde often represents the head word in examples.
Learn the map of the treasure chest.
Good analogy. Know where to find pronunciation, examples, etymology, usage notes, so you can grab what you need quickly.
And this links to another key point, right? Going beyond just the main meaning. The Messilah survey found most students just check the meaning.
Exactly. That was a key finding. 47.67% mostly use dictionaries to check the meaning, neglecting all that other rich info. To be a pro, you have to explore more.
So what should we be looking for besides the definition?
Okay, checklist time. 1. Pronunciation. Listen to the audio. Try learning phonetic symbols like IPA. They're super precise. Grammar. Identify the part of speech. Is the verb transitive, needs an object, or intransitive? Is the noun countable or uncountable? Knowing this prevents common errors, like saying informations or furnitures.
Ah, yeah, classic mistakes. 3.
Collocations. Which words naturally go together? You don't just do homework, you do homework. You don't make a photo, you take a photo. Knowing these word partners is vital for sounding natural.
Crucial. 4.
Etymology. Word origin. Sometimes knowing where a word came from helps you remember it or connect it to other words.
5.
Register. Is the word formal, informal, slang, technical? Using dude in a formal report probably isn't wise.
Probably not. 6.
Examples. This is absolutely crucial. Always read the example sentences. They show you how the word lives in the language in real contexts. Essential for understanding nuance and proper usage.
And 7.
Idioms and phrasal verbs. English is packed with them. Look for phrases connected to the head word, like look up, look into, look after, under the entry for look. Good dictionaries list these.
Wow, okay. That's a lot more than just grabbing the first definition.
It is. But that's how you truly learn the word deeply.
Now, here's a tough truth, though. Just looking up a word, even thoroughly, doesn't mean you'll remember it, does it?
Unfortunately, no. As one source bluntly put it, once you close the dictionary, very quickly you're going to forget what you looked up. Ouch. But true.
So what's the solution?
Active review and retention. You have to integrate review activities, flashcards, spaced repetition software like Anki, writing your own sentences, keeping a vocabulary notebook, maybe focusing on just a few tricky words each day for active recall.
Make the lookup stick. Turn it into lasting knowledge.
Exactly. And this fits into the bigger picture of integrated learning. Dictionaries are vital, but they should be minor systems or resources.
Supporting the main learning process.
Right. Primary vocabulary learning happens most effectively through exposure. Lots of listening and reading, engaging with real content, books, articles, podcasts, movies, and crucially, communicating with native speakers or other learners, applying the language.
So the dictionary is the support crew, not the star player.
Perfect way to put it. It clarifies, confirms, deepens. But the main learning comes from using and encountering the language authentically.
Okay, let's get even more practical. You mentioned search strategies earlier, decoding and encoding. Can we walk through those?
Sure. Think of decoding as reading or listening comprehension. You encounter a word you don't know. And encoding is for production writing or speaking when you need to choose the right word.
Okay, let's decode first. I hit the word ubiquitous. What's the process?
Okay, ubiquitous. First, locate it. Notice any endings. Nope, looks like the base form. So search alphabetically for ubiquitous.
Found it. Now what?
Check the definitions. Maybe there's more than one, though ubiquitous is pretty specific. Use the context from your reading. If the sentence was, smartphones have become ubiquitous, the definition present, appearing, or found everywhere fits perfectly. You use context to select the right meaning.
What if I couldn't find the exact word? Say I saw ubiquitously.
Good question. Then you'd remove the all-I suffix to find the base adjective ubiquitous and look that up. Always try to find the base form. If context still doesn't help you pick a meaning or no meaning seems to fit, then you try to infer based on everything else. It's a systematic process.
Okay, that's decoding. Now encoding. I'm writing an email and I want a word that means very noticeable.
Right. Encoding.
Yeah.
First, per dictionary use. Choose your dictionary. Probably a monolingual one here for nuance. Maybe a thesaurus, too. Think about the canonical form. Visualize spelling, maybe.
Then the search. Maybe I start with noticeable in a thesaurus.
Good starting point. You find synonyms like conspicuous, prominent, striking, obvious. Now comes the crucial part, microstructure strategies.
Deep search or surface search.
Exactly. A surface search might just grab the first synonym, risky. A deep search means you look up each promising synonym, conspicuous, prominent, striking in your MLD.
And then selection and application.
Yes. Scan all definitions for each candidate word. Read the examples carefully. Check grammar notes. Are they adjectives? Check register labels. Is striking too informal? Maybe conspicuous fits the negative tone you wanted, or prominent fits the physical description. You select the best fit for your precise meaning and context.
Then you pop it into your sentence, making sure the grammar fits.
Exactly. Add any necessary endings. Check agreement. It's a structured way to ensure accuracy and naturalness when you're producing language.
That makes sense. And Bishop's guidelines from 2001 seem to pull all this together nicely, like final checklist for pro users.
They really do. Let's quickly recap them. 1. Know all the types of info in there, not just meaning.
2. Understand parts of speech and symbols. The grammar roadmap.
3. Use it for synonyms, but carefully check context.
4. Use it for specialized vocabulary if you need it.
5. Use the grammatical info, don't skip it.
6. Learn phonetic characters for pronunciation.
7. Understand register formal versus informal, crucial for appropriateness.
8. Double-check meanings, especially from bilingual dictionaries.
9. Use it to proofread your writing, final quality check.
And the big one, number 10.
Remember, the dictionary is not a substitute for actually learning vocabulary through exposure and practice. It's a tool to support that learning, not replace it. It's your compass, not the journey itself.
That's a great summary. But despite all these benefits, all these features, the reality is often different, isn't it? Research shows learners often struggle.
Yeah, that's a consistent finding. Many EFL learners might face obstacles and are often inefficient dictionary users. They have trouble picking the right meaning, understanding grammar info, and often just lack experience or motivation to go deep.
So we have this powerful tool, but people aren't always trained to use it effectively. It's a paradox.
It really is, and it points to what some call the training gap.
The training gap, meaning learners aren't taught how.
Pretty much. A significant problem is that most learners have not had any dictionary skills instruction. One study found a shocking 70% of students said they'd never been taught how to use a dictionary successfully.
70%. Wow.
And over half, 54%, said they actually needed instruction. The Maciel's survey backed this up. Nearly 78% said they'd welcome more training on how to use dictionaries.
So learners know they need help, but they're often not getting it.
That seems to be the case. There's a clear, unmet need for guidance.
So what can educators do? What are the recommendations for teachers to bridge this gap? How do we turn inefficient users into these proficient linguistic navigators we've been talking about?
The sources offer some clear takeaways for teachers. First, provide continuous training, not just a one-off lesson in week 1. It needs to be explicit teaching of skills and strategies woven across courses and modules throughout the student's academic journey. It's an ongoing skill.
Like teaching research skills, it needs reinforcement.
Exactly. And it needs to be tailored instruction. Teachers need to know their students' needs, levels, attitudes, and guide them to the appropriate kind of dictionary for them at that stage. No one size fits all.
So maybe guide beginners towards good learner dictionaries, encourage advanced ones towards monolingual or specialized ones.
Precisely. And crucially, design activities that force students to go beyond just checking meanings. Exercises that require them to find pronunciation, grammar, collocations, examples, make them use the whole entry.
Get them digging deeper.
Yes. And while we know electronic and monolingual are popular and beneficial, teachers should still support students using bilingual or print if that's what they need initially. The goal is to motivate and train them to transition effectively as they progress. Build that versatile toolkit.
And these skills should be formally part of the curriculum.
Ideally, yes. Dictionary skills should be integrated into the syllabus, not just an optional extra. Make it foundational.
One last point for teachers.
When teaching vocabulary explicitly, prioritize high-frequency words. These give learners the most bang for their buck in terms of communication, and they'll see the benefits of effective dictionary use most quickly with words they actually encounter often.
Makes sense. Focus on the useful stuff first. These pedagogical points seem vital to actually unlock the potential we've been discussing.
Absolutely. It's about turning potential into practice.
So let's bring this all together for you, our listener. What's the big takeaway? We've explored today how dictionaries, thesauri, lexicons, they are way, way more than just quick lookup tools.
So much more. They're dynamic, incredibly powerful resources that if you understand them and use them strategically, can genuinely transform your English learning journey, your personal guides.
From the speed and features of electronic versions to the deep insights of monolingual and specialized ones, even actively building your own thematic lexicon.
The potential for speeding up your learning, getting deeper understanding, refining your fluency, it's immense.
Yeah.
And the choice, the power to do that, is really in your hands now.
So here's a final thought to mull over. Think about the very next unfamiliar English word you encounter, whether it's reading, listening, whatever. Are you just going to look it up, get a quick definition, and probably forget it by tomorrow?
Or are you going to engage with it? Explore its sound, its grammar, its friends, collocations, its nuances. Are you going to truly make it yours, adding it actively to your growing mental lexicon?
The world of English is huge and exciting. And your dictionary, used like a pro. It's basically the key to unlocking its secrets. The potential is there. It's up